All right, welcome back. 137 days till Summernats, or about 4 months and 14 days. Time for an update. Why is that here? What have we done to this? Well, you can see it's in. Well, it's a nice day, so I drove that in. We'll show you this. We'll show you the difference between that engine bay and this engine bay. Okay, so she's in. Bolted. So it shouldn't have to come back out again. I've had it in and out a couple of times. But for the most part, I'm hoping she stays in now. She's all bolted up on her suspension. In there, transmission as well. We'll show you that from underneath. But we got her in. A few clearance issues on the back with the gearbox, which you'll see, which was these fins we had to remove just to get the gearbox to sit up a bit higher. But she is in now. The biggest issue that we're facing at the moment is headers. Not much room there. I've got to get it to go down in there. So we're sort of tackling that at the moment. Working through this side, plenty of room. This side's going to be the issue. So got some flanges, got some bends, waiting on some merge collectors to come so we can tackle that. And then basically what's left on the engine is to get the intake, or the second half of the intake on. Just a couple of modifications in the back of the intake for the booster and vacuum lines. A couple of modifications on heater hoses. We're going to be cutting here and joining with a stainless steel insert. Probably the same thing with the bottom one. We've got to shoot it across to the other side. Not a big deal. Radiator fits. It's close, but it works. We've got to get the alternator in and then work out what size drive belt we need. And then obviously with the air intake, air filter and airflow meter. So that's not a big deal. Like I said, the big deal is going to be the manifold. But we'll work on it and we'll get there. But looking at that, used to look like something like that. A bit different. I kind of prefer that because it's nice and clean. So like we said last time, with all the wiring tucked away, it actually looks quite nice. So it works. This works too, but I don't know. This kind of makes it look like it's supposed to be there. So, and we got the trans cooler done, mounted. That all goes to the transmission down the side of the block there. We'll show you that from underneath, but that part's done. Body wise, got a couple of things done. We got all of that done, all welded and patched and bogged. Now we're just running through. So I'm hoping to paint this in the next 2 weeks, hopefully. All right, so yeah, 2 weeks. I want to try and get this thing painted in the next 2 weeks. Today's the 20th of August, Sunday. So 2 weeks, it's going to make it Father's Day. I want to try and get here and spend the day painting the shells. So in the next 2 weeks, we've got a lot of prep work to do to get to that stage. So the inside of the boot, I want to do like the engine bay over there. I want to do a white, get that out of the way. So when we do paint the shell, we can mask it off and do the shell in the color. There's a lot of stone guarding to do inside the boot, down the seal panels, a little bit underneath where we did the repair on that. And then addressing the back bodywork. So a little bit, next 2 weeks, sort of like, maybe not so much on the engine stuff. I just want to I want to get the shell in color and sealed. It'll make me feel a bit better, a lot better, because I'm going to have issues with that stupid exhaust. So when I get it in color, the diff's already in it. It's already lowered. I'll show you guys that. All right, so the diff's in it. I'll show you from underneath as well. We did 3-inch blocks, which doesn't look like it because it's actually stuck on the lift. So I've got to jack it up and get the legs out so we can actually see the proper height. But the diff's in it. It's lowered. The front we can adjust. on the coils. Tire size we're changing because they look cool and all. We're keeping the same size rim. We're changing the tire size just for clearance issues in the rear. So we've got to get some tires, but that's later on. That's not my big problem right now. Getting it painted is priority number one, and then probably end up taking it home so we can do all the wiring stuff. Once it's in color, it's going to transform it a fair bit and give, you know, a bit more hype and a bit more enthusiasm to get it finished, because tedious jobs now, bits of wiring, little bits here, little bits there. If we can knock out the major part, which is color, then we can sort of start reassembling as well, which will make me feel a lot better. All right, so major, well, not major, but some time that needs to be spent doing some panel work on the back here for paint. Like I said before, from here down, not too fast because the bumper bar covers it. So we only really need to adjust from here up. So that's what I'm going to work on today. Up here, we've just seam sealed it. Nothing flash. It's not a show car, so who cares? By the time you put the boot rubber in, you're not going to see most of this anyway, and you drive with the boot closed anyway, so I'm not too fussed. That's all going to get covered up. You'll never even see that. A little bit of tin canning, but so be it. Fuel tank, we're going to refresh, modify, and put in after I've painted all of this white. All of that's going to get fixed up, so it should look better. Well, it will look better, and there won't be much in here. It'll just be a surge tank and fuel pump and fuel tank. That's about it. And if need be, we'll put the battery in the boot, but at the moment that works for us. So that's not a big deal. A couple of hours to get that done, and then once that's in white, we can mask it off and paint the shell. With the shell, we're going to have to paint up into the roof because we're not going to run a roof lining. We're going to paint to the edge, and then in the center we're going to put sound deadening, so it should look good. It'll get rid of this tinny sort of noise. We're just running out of time and the budget is stretched, so we're kind of cutting corners, or we're making it work within what we have and can do. So once it's painted and we got carpet, we're going to put carpet in it at least, so that'll be that. I don't think many people are going to look in and up, so be it. It is what it is. Okay, so underneath, not too pretty, but it works. Seam sealed it, fiberglassed over the edge, you know, it works. So that's all going to get stone guarded, all sprayed up nice. The diffs in it, they're the blocks, longer U-bolts. So the issue with the tire was, with a lower profile, we were pretty close to bottoming out on all of this stuff. So if you can imagine, do a burnout and pop a tire, and then we're running on rim, then it would actually be stuck on the ground. So I think burnout tires are going to use the 15s that I got. That should fix that. But for drivability, we're just going to increase the tire size, the wall size on the 13s. So that is that. We haven't locked the diff yet, just for purpose of moving the car around. But we'll get some welds in there and then probably blow that up. Shifter cable, that's all done. That was a little bit interesting, but we made that work. Goes up there, shoots over there, so we've got enough clearance for our tail shaft to go in. Tail shaft's getting sent away. That's going to get shortened, but there's the shifter. It all works. So we're using the original Corolla T-bar just to mimic a factory look. All the cross members been made. It's not a professional job, but it's in there and it works. So I had to put a brace in the floor, weld it in to carry the cross member. If it holds, it holds. If it breaks, it breaks. So be it. Clearance, just had to massage a little bit on the side here for the shifter and the plug here. The original floor supports for the cross member, for the original, got cut out. You'll see that at the end in the slideshow. But here is where my problem lies at the moment is getting all of them to come down through a 3-inch hole here. And I'm gonna move my fuel lines. So steering gets in the way. It would be nice to come through here, but once you turn, the pitman arm goes across, blocks that way. If you could change it to rack and pinion, a lot more work. Don't have that time one day, so we'll work with what we got. We'll get that, those three, come through here somewhere. So transmission lines, got them all done up and protected. But yeah, for the most part, all of this sort of stuff down here is done. Coilovers, brakes are in, brake lines. We didn't have these supports, but you'll see at the end, we cut these off an original set of struts, welded them onto the coilovers, made all the brake lines, same on this side. That's all sorted. Will not be running a sway bar, there is no room. So, no sway bar. Starter fits beautifully. Clears, all the drag links for the steering clear. And this side, you could probably get a 5-inch dump exhaust through there, so enough room to come past all of this. This is the side that's gonna absolutely do my head in. So, tail shaft incoming. I'm not gonna paint none of this. Who cares? I'll paint that because it's starting to rust. All from back here, all of this will get stone guarded to clean it all up. Fuel lines are gonna go up through the floor, through a bulkhead. Okay, so this stuff was way easier on the hoist. I know some people don't have the luxury of a hoist, but trying to do this underneath, up, down, yeah, it's doable. It's just, yeah, a bit more inconvenient. So this has helped us speed things along a lot, and pretty much everything that I can get done now on the hoist, I'm gonna get done. So when I take it home to do the wiring and finishing it up, we don't have to get under it. So all of that got addressed, and we did have a rust hole here as well that we ended up fixing. Wasn't too much of an issue, but while I was here, why not get it done? So hopefully we'll be taking this thing home painted, which would be nice, and then do the final fit up and running and wiring and all the bullshit that goes with it at home. All right, so the way I see it, there's 3 main things that I want to achieve with this. Get it painted, get the exhaust done, and get it running. That's basically it. Once I can get through those 3 things, it's literally put the car back together. So not much more to say. I'm gonna get back to work. I'll do the slideshow now. I'll end it now. You guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye. Here goes nothing. With the crane. Let's try and fix it.